happened in Iconium. Look at chapter 14. First four words. Now it happened in Iconium. Iconium, icon. It's a Greek word meaning image, icon. That's where we get that word from. This is why I call it the showdown, the great showdown. They've ran Paul and Barnabas out of Antioch. So 80 some odd miles, he goes over to Iconium. And I love the only time in the scriptures that now it happened. Well, what happened? The showdown, the big showdown. Ladies and gentlemen, there's coming a showdown in this culture today. Believers are being pushed and pushed and pushed, and not just pushed in rights and all of that, not meaning to go there today, but I'm just saying, way of life, culture is demanding that we adjust or change, but the big showdown is compromise. Compromise, just a little bit. This is what's going to happen. So it happened at Iconium. The showdown finally came. He was pushed out of Jerusalem. He was pushed out of Antioch. And then it happened in Iconium, the icon place. Now, this is not just a regular city. This is about 30,000 people lived there then. About 2.5 million live there now. This is south central Turkey. And there was what was called the Via Sambastia. And that was a paved road that the Roman government had built from Ephesus all the way to the Euphrates, the only known via in the world. And smack dab in the middle of it in south central Turkey was Iconium and Derbe and Lystra. You'll see all of them mentioned in chapter 14. And then Paul brings us back up in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 11. He said, you guys have followed me in doctrine, you followed me in the word, you followed my lifestyle, and you saw what happened to me in Iconium, and how that for his sake we overcame it all. Then it goes on to say, and all who live godly in Christ Jesus, get ready. You shall suffer persecution. Showdown. Showdown time. So he comes to Icon, now down the Via Sambastia, which means the big road, all the way into Iconium. Now, when he gets to Iconium, the whole thing about this city, it's a pagan city. It's a Greek city. They spoke, Paul always preached in Greek, but they spoke Phrygian or Iconium. And so it was a different language for him. And it was a pagan city. There's no doubt about that. In fact, the whole story of the founding of this city was that the two gods, Prometheus and Atheus, came and went all over the city, and they asked 1,000 people for lodging. They were turned down by 1,000 homes. Now, this is Greek mythology. And finally, a household by the name of Arusus and Philemon took them in, and it became Iconium, the image. And in fact, the founding of this city was apparently by these two gods who recreated mankind after a great flood and made them with mud and breathed life into them. Reckon where they got that? Reckon where those pagans got that? So Iconium, it happened in Iconium, the big showdown, the one which is going to bring really three facts into our life. Now it happened in Iconium that they went together in the synagogue of the Jews and spoke to the great multitude. Both the Jews and the Greeks believed. We're going to talk first, now looking at verse 2, we're going to talk first about believers and unbelievers, but the unbelievers. The believers, both Greek and Jews, but unbelievers. Showdown number one, believers, unbelievers, believers, unbelievers. We are not in a war with unbelievers. We love unbelievers. Our job is to love this world. You say, they're hard to love. Most of them aren't kind. Many of them are mean and angry. I understand that. And the whole concept of this showdown is that we're being pushed and forced into even saying that believers and unbelievers can't get along. Well, that's ridiculous. We are